a lot of it, but they've been following the actual project, and they must be getting pictures. I don't know if there's some of the ones we showed online from the last meeting or whatnot. They're very excited about it. They want to come down. Actually, it's their idea. They're going to invite the probably the governor and the commissioner. I don't know first name or last name's Gilman. So we'll plan that too. We'll do a ribbon cutting ceremony. We'll make sure we have plenty of t-shirts for them as well, hopefully. I did speak to Alicia, and she sent the name to the architect, Bob, of Mrs. McLean, who the last gym was named after. They're supposed to be making some kind of plaque for the door. And then the final thing is I'm working with the teachers union. We're going to do something similar to what we did when we opened the West Haven High School. We're going to bring the teachers in a day earlier than the contractual obligation, but then we'll give them election day off. We didn't want to excuse them from the first professional day because we thought it was too important for them to miss. So we're going to bring them a day early and trade off the day in November. We're finalizing that so they'll be able to settle into the to their new classrooms. As well, you know, we've had a lot of events going on. I've seen several of you there. Very nice this time of year. If you can get to one or two, they're worth it. The honors awards, a lot of graduation ceremonies are happening now. I know Carrigan starts because they do it by team. Bailey will begin shortly. We had our 4th grade field day last Friday. One thing that I wanted you guys to take note of, we talked about this last year with both Carrigan and Bailey. We talked about the fact that Holiday Hill was just it was being outpriced. So I've got to give Mike Angelari and the phys ed teachers at West Haven High School a lot of credit, along with Taryn, Rob, and actually Data was there last year when we started it, to put together a field day for both schools that I think will resemble Holiday Hill, because I believe we can do just about 90 to 95% of what we offer, and it's not costing anything. And obviously Meg will be a big part of that, but that's this Wednesday and Thursday. Bailey is Wednesday, Carrigan is Thursday. So if you have some time, I think it would be worth stopping by because they really worked hard on it. And remember, it's the first year, so whatever we don't do really well, we'll improve next year. But I like to make it a tradition. As all of you know, I like to get as many opportunities as possible to get kids to West Haven High School. That's why Bailey held their Honor Society event here and some other things, concerts and whatnot. I think it's really good to get the kids here and get them excited about the campus. And that's all I have. Does anyone have any questions?
Anybody have any questions? Robert?
Yeah, I know we're not having layoffs, but obviously there will be fewer employees when we start the school year. When August or September roll around, can you show us the number of employees, total number of employees that we lost district-wide?
We should be able to do that, right, Tammy? I know we have been in fact, on my desk is a spreadsheet of the positions we eliminated over the last couple of years. Again, I think some of it out of prudence because we knew that the funding was coming. So there are going to be less teachers, less paras. I don't believe it's going to affect classroom size, which is a really good thing because we've been able to eliminate a couple of classrooms that were going to be exceptionally low. But we can get you those numbers.
I just think we as a board have an obligation to let the public know that.
Yeah,
and the school districts are having layoffs, which they generally are. Although we're not having layoffs, we are going to have layoffs.
Absolutely, and that's something that you know, when we do an operating budget, we will make sure that we get you that information as well. Also, again, Bobby reminds me that, and again, I haven't seen any of the details, although I do receive updates from CAPS, and my understanding is that the legislature and the governor have reached an agreement on a 2-year budget. So we should be getting some numbers fairly quickly.
Thank you.
I have a question on projected numbers. We have the numbers that are not racial balance and the other lines. We get that next time projected numbers, or do you want to be
Projected numbers?
for next year?
Well, we've given you what we think are the kindergarten numbers.
Right.
Other than that, I don't believe the enrollment's going to change that much. What I can tell you is that with the exception of West David High School, which is currently, as of today, the June 1st numbers, is at 1955, which is high. The other ones, the elementary schools are low. I think there's only about 2,500 kids. We've been steady around 26. Carrigan and Bailey are both below 900, both of them. But again, as I mentioned to Morgan just earlier, we're graduating 500 kids this year. I don't understand the trend, but that's where we are right now. But we'll get you projected numbers. We'll promote everybody, and we'll try to get you the incoming kindergarten class.
That'd be great, thank you.
Yep.
And then first,
Can we turn on the microphones?
oh, I think they are.
I
I think she just needed me.
don't hear a single question that asked.
So she wanted the projected numbers for next year enrollment. Sorry,
Well, I figured it out.
Okay.
After Neil's discussion, but
I was gonna ask her to talk a little louder, but I didn't want to interrupt her, but I think everybody else is on.
We're below 6,000 as a district of in-place kids. It doesn't include out.
Lean into the microphone. Don't get yelled at.
Hello. The position being eliminated, is it from retirement? And I suppose those positions are not essential.
Exactly. There are open positions where we've been able to move people into. No one is getting laid off. We had a couple of jobs that weren't filled throughout the course of the year. For example, science. We finished this year, I think, Raphael, with a couple of 6-period classes, but we were able to fortunately find teachers for next year, so we won't be offering we won't be signing 6-period classes as of now. But we've taken advantage of open positions and retirements.
Yeah. Board reports, start down there with my friend. Testing, 1, 2.
I'm sorry to say that I have nothing to report.
But you spoke well with
I didn't hear you.
Jonathan.
I have nothing to report.
All right. Kimberly.
Just want to congratulate all the classes of 2025, grade, 6th grade, 8th grade, and our seniors. I saw the numbers too this morning, and I think I said down, that's when I saw that, like, and I can't believe our class of 2025 was 513 kids. Whatever those dates next. Next week.
And no rain, no rain.
Bring the extra Purell for me, please.
I forgot about it, and I also want to congratulate the Bailey National Genealogy Study and Dr. Sarah's for attending that ceremony, and they did a really nice job. And there were 126, I believe, 8th, 7th, and 8th graders conducted. So very impressive that the kids are prioritizing their academics.
Are you sure there was a lawn workers that wanted to congratulate?
No, there's all,
I got
You sure?
I'm positive.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, can I add one thing about Bailey? I should have mentioned, if you're done, Kim. They had a breakfast today because they really were very pleased with their SBAC scores. They did tremendous. In fact, Karen had introduced me to a couple of the students that actually, we had 3 students with perfect scores, which is absolutely tremendous. And so they really did well this year at Bailey. So really proud of that. I should have mentioned it. Thank you.
Can we recognize them out of board meeting?
We can, we can get them here in July, we'll do our best. I was thinking the same thing. It's a matter of getting them here in the middle of July.
Do it in September.
Yeah, they'll be good.
Yeah, that's. I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
Perfect. So then we'll get the official score in August, so we can get them in September, and they don't have to come to school in
Great.
July. Perfect. Heather?
So my love is theater as well as the school. So I just wanted to congratulate all the Halo winners, including
Our very own Kim Kenny's daughter Paige.
Yeah.
but really all of those kids are just so impressive and their love for theater.
They had 20 Halo nominations and five wins.
Is that the most wins that they've ever had?
Most Halo awards ever. Yeah, they best supporting actress in a musical for Very Well, the best featured actress in a play, Paige, Ada Adka was recognized for supporting actress in the play as well. Ziana Ziada received a dance scholarship,
Is that the Molinari?
Molinari scholarship, and Lemia Tenor, for which every single cast member was nominated, was awarded best play.
Excellent.
185
That's
shares.
the first play.
Yes.
That's just.
Excellent.
So that's all.
That's it. That's big enough. Robert?
Like the superintendent said, I had the opportunity to attend the West Haven High School Honor Society, along with the top 20 luncheon with the senior awards, as much as you can make, which is so much to miss. Unfortunately, I didn't make the adult ed graduation or really the Honor Society. Also, definitely want to give kudos to our Haley Board and Peter. Students did a good job, well observed. Looking at photos, they were all well dressed. I think they had a great time.
And it seemed super, the wind was super accelerated. I saw somebody's video and heard all the screaming at the end.
Very polite students too. They were really all well dressed. And I have to tell you, when you say congratulations, they say thank you like, I did something for them. They were there recognizing them. I've never seen such as a group, a nicer group of kids from all of the schools so far that I've been to ceremonies with Carrigan, Bailey, and the high school.
Yeah.
Good, just add to that. I love the fact, can you hear me, Rosa?
I blame you. It's hard to sit on the end. I've been there.
I'm trying. I like the fact that Notre Dame and West Haven theater people support each other.
Yes.
Yes, like so important that they go to each other's places and support each other. I think that's really nice.
Agreed.
Very different from the athletics.
The only thing I have is the Arts Festival, which was last Thursday. If you didn't go to the Arts Festival, you missed a great night. They incorporate Rich Diaz and Jennifer Belli. They incorporate culinary, drama, the band, the choral, and all their arts. And it's like an incredible night to go. And the kids are and they're fabulous. It's amazing the talent we have. And you didn't go this year, go next year because it's worth every minute to go. And especially if you want to have a snack, they serve really nice food.
Excellent. Good to know. Good to know.
Pat, if we can, as the summer progresses and we do find some money, we are looking to,
Get another art.
an art teacher or a culinary teacher. Your begging hasn't gone unnoticed. But again, I think it will probably happen. We want to open it up at the high school, not make it so it's exclusive either. We want to give more kids opportunities.
I think that's a, thank you.
I saw the article in the paper about a West Haven student who's been here.
Yeah, the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some amazing talent.
If you get a chance, go to the restaurant. I actually called Mark Batista, who's just retired as an art teacher, and had offered him the opportunity. Mark, you've done murals before. Is it something you'd be interested in? And he gave us the young lady's name as a reference. And we went over to Washington and we were like blown away by how much the mother had actually done and that the family has a history of art. And, this girl, I will pay her pretty decent, I will tell you. She negotiated and, we're really happy to have her do it. And, hopefully, she's going to take off and she'll have a successful career.
So she did well in her business classes.
Yeah. And her art classes, yeah.
So she's no math slouch either.
No.
Good
but
job.
If you take her, I love canteen, I think, but I still call it Danny's Espresso. but, yeah.
Danny's espresso. That's the thing.
You're showing your age now.
It's funny, because I'll tell my kids, take a left at Armstrong, and they're like, what are you talking about? Go all the way to Bradley's there. So, Morgan, do you have anything? Yep, good. And I just would have said all of the things that you guys have congratulated our students on, so I will not take up anybody's time with that, since you all said it so eloquently. So I will entertain a motion for D1.
No, I just wanted to.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Judy.
That's okay.
I always say Judy, and then this time I just think about it.
She might in the end.
No, okay.
And next on our program,
No, I just wanted to let you know a couple things too. As of Friday, we were talking about the assessment. We finished all of our assessments as of Friday. You know, the physical education, the SBA, the NGS. So when we get all that in, you know, of course, we'll inform you. And then to go along again with what Neil said and all of you have said, the events the past few weeks, I can tell you, the Fine Arts Night, every time I go, I buy pottery and it's all over my office. There's always so many great events going on. I've been to here. And as Neil said too, the kids look at you and thank you and we're very appreciative of, you know, us being at the events. So, many as you can go to, don't know what's going on, and it's a person, go to the person, she'll let you know what events are.
she keeps us updated on our calendar.
I'm really pumped for that field day. I hope it works out well. This guy's retired.
The one thing I will say is, I'm not sure if I mentioned this at the last meeting, and if I did not, I was remiss. After spending several meetings at the city council, I just want to let you all know that I spoke a couple of times, but one of the things that I really wanted to strike a chord with the city council is that all the things that you're reading in the paper about our surrounding towns and their budget problems and their tax increases and their Board of Ed budgets getting cut and their layoffs happening are not happening here. Not only because of the work that we do, but also I think under the direction of the superintendent, we have been very wise with how we spent our COVID money. We've been mindful about using one-time revenue to have recurring positions. And I think we're in such a good place especially compared to the surrounding towns because of the leadership that you have provided to us. And I just wanted to make sure that I had mentioned to the board that I said that at the council meeting and to publicly thank you for all the hard work that you've done.
Thank you. We were concerned, again, our administrative team from day one, we're concerned that, yeah, it's a lot of money, but, you know, let's be wise how we spend it. And fortunately, we didn't put into salary, we did a lot of infrastructure improvements and did what we needed to do as far as salaries. And again, we're making some adjustments, but I believe that we're going to have a solid academic program next year.
And we did a lot of great facility upgrades.
That's what I'm saying, right?
You know, I can't complain about any of the things that were done. I think we did a really wise job of spreading it around the city and grade levels and even elementary all the way up to high school. So, great. I just wanted to say great job.
And again, it does not happen without the support of the board. We don't do that on our own, you know.
We're all the best.
You know, I concur. I just, feel like quiet about it, but you know,
Agreed, I know. Well, that's what made the conversation that you and I had about personal issues was what prompted me to make sure I remember to say that today. Moving on, D1, approval of minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the May 19th Board of Ed meeting. Motion by Rosa, second by Patrick. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Pat is abstaining and Heather is abstaining. And Morgan is abstaining. Sorry, missed you down there. D2, I will entertain a motion to do D2 25-32 and 25-33 all inclusive. Motion by Pat, second by Rosa. Any discussion?
I just wanted to wish Ms. Bruno well in her retirement. She is a fierce advocate for our students and she sorely missed.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask, I'm looking, SPED teachers, social workers, getting a little nervous there.
We're actually not nervous. We did hire, Steph, I don't know, is that the position that we had already anticipated and filled? I know we just hired someone at step one.
Anyone internally that would like to do this, but we had such great interviews last week. I hired, but we, yes, to Neil's point, we already hired one learning lab teacher and one social worker and one special therapist. A great year so far.
Yeah, and Rosa, one of the things that I've talked to all of the coordinators about and our principals, because of what Kevin just mentioned, and again, I just confirmed with Raphael, we are getting applicants because, so we're not gonna be in a hurry just to fill the job. I think we've got a little bit of time this year and we'll get quality candidates because most districts aren't hiring and they're laying off. So that can really help us, where we are right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
I just want to say I worked with both those people and they were great to work with.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I always feel silly saying any opposed, like we can say, oh no, you can't retire. Motion carries. D4 25-34, I will entertain a motion to approve the extension of the superintendent's contract that was all emailed to you guys about 2 weeks ago. Motion by Patrick, second by Bob. Any discussion?
Don't, if I may,
You may, that's what it's for.
don't you usually have a non-meeting?
Well, so usually we do if we have questions, that's why I sent it out a couple weeks ago, no one had any questions for me, so that's why I didn't have the meeting.
Rosa, just so you know, too, the first year of the contract is already in place. The next 2 years are going to be subject to the administrator's contract, which we are just starting negotiations on. So there are no changes, substantial changes.
Which is why I assumed I didn't have any questions, but there really wasn't any.
I'm not really comfortable with, having a discussion in the open forum, so, but I did have some questions exactly relative to that deal.
You can ask them, we'll do our best to answer them, but there really are no changes to the contract, other than you're adding the 2 years, and we'll see what the administrators are.
Right, but we don't, you know, like, okay, I'm gonna ask it, I apologize, but I'll ask it straight up, okay? Don't you negotiate their contract?
It's been going on for years, Rosa.
Okay, I just think it's a conflict.
It precedes me, how it's done. We've already had initial meetings with the administrators, an initial meeting, I should say. They know what they make compared to other towns. We know what I make compared to other towns. We understand the city's ability to pay is first and foremost. You know, so it's not like I'm gonna say get 10% because I'm gonna get 10%. By the way, the city council has to approve it, and they've been informed that we are starting negotiations and have been invited to participate as the financial authority. So I think we're covered.
Okay, so those were the questions that I would have asked.
Yeah, listen, we've done it. It's not the first time we've done it,
People
but
know that we're talking about these things.
I think the other thing is too, I
just
didn't
don't
want to take.
doing it.
No, please, you know, I'm here and it's public.
Face to face with you, Neil.
Rosa, I'm here. And the other thing is, one of the things I didn't want to do was take the chance to take more than what the administrators would end up with eventually. So, and that's where we are. And again, depending on what they get, and I can tell you they're the lowest paid. I won't share the statistics with you now. When we finalize that contract, they are by far the lowest in the DERG and in most of the state of Connecticut. They're not going to become the highest. We've kind of made that clear, but you know, they're going to get something this time. They're in the same boat that the teachers were in when we did the teachers 2 years ago.
Well, I completely understand that. I just, I'm a little uncomfortable with leaving it open so that, you know, that's just, it's okay. I'm just voicing my concern.
No, absolutely.
I understand, but I've been doing it for 20 years and I've never taken more than what I thought I deserved or what our administrators got.
I don't really care about the fact that I'm a public servant in one particular union, and my union has never gotten what the management union does, but all of the people that negotiate that contract get whatever management union gets. So I'm witness, okay? Unfortunately, to that type of
It's a valid concern, but I can tell you, again, if you look at the track record and the history, you know, we've all taken freezes during tough times. We've all kind of bit the bullet together, and I can assure you that, you know, that they're not gonna break the bank, and you're not gonna break the bank because of me.
No, I'm just saying publicly, that was, I know from experience why I have the concern that I had.
And again, I think you're valid, but I'm saying publicly, you know, again, based on my track record, you won't have to worry.
And I appreciate it, and I hope that what I said was not offensive in any way. That wasn't my intent.
Remember, everything we do has to get approved by the council, just so they're not gonna let us go crazy, even though, again, our guys are really underpaid.
Anybody else? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you. Listen, again, I hope over the last, during this board, certainly I've earned your trust, but I think I have a good track record over 18 years and, still got the energy to do the job. And I'm very grateful for your support. And I will not let you down. And Rosa, you know, you can always express those concerns to me publicly or privately, and I will do my best to address them.
And I did want to mention one of the things that I talked about with the superintendent and Bob, about the evaluation process. And as we all know, like we are ongoingly, that's not the word. We evaluate the superintendent, I feel ongoing at every one of our meetings. We get reports, we get financial reports, we see where our standings are, we get test results, we have presentations by teachers. But I think it might be helpful if next year, after we talk about our goals and then the superintendent's goals, is if we do like a quarterly check-in special meeting for evaluation purposes, and that if everybody would like that.
Yeah,
I was thinking that might be a little bit more, I actually, you know, I was talking about it with Heather as well. I think actually you talked about it first.
It can be passed along to me, and I think one of the other things too, and why I really like the idea is because I can give you great goals in August, but, you know, between August and let's say November or December, you know, things happen or things change that you didn't anticipate. So I think it's good to talk about them and say, hey, look, maybe we got to put this on hold because we have to focus on something else. So I really like that idea.
Yeah. So, and I think it'll be, you know, helpful if, so the public knows that although we know what we're doing, sometimes people are watching and maybe not know, like, the reason that Kim asked that question or the reason that Pat had that concern is that we know what the goals are and we're trying to make sure that we match up and meet those and make sure that the superintendent is successful. So I think it'll be good to have a specific meeting. We can do it, you know, twice a year or quarterly, whatever we think, you know.
I think just going back to our other conversation as far as financial, you know, and this, putting it on the agenda to just increase transparency.
Yep.
Because it's happening. We know it's all happening.
Yep.
But if we're pointing it out, it's just.
You didn't document, you didn't do it, right?
Yeah,
And I know Heather was neck deep in evaluations last week.
That's
so
what I've been doing.
Near on her mind.
One more thing.
Yes, ma'am.
When would you like to meet to departments? Probably another meeting this month.
Probably August, because July, I know we may even have I may actually move the July meeting date for two reasons. One, I think it's the week that I'm on vacation, and also in case we have hires that we need to get offers out to, that we need to approve those. And I know people go on vacation in July, so I hate to put like an important meeting like that in July. So maybe August, we can do that.
Or if you want Gabe, I can get them. They're not going to come during the summer now. It's probably
Yeah,
too late.
I mean, they came down the last time we did them, which I think was 2 years ago. So they probably do need to get looked at a little bit and updated. So maybe September will be better. So Gabe can come.
Just check.
Yeah. And the rest of the agenda is informational, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn at 6:31. Motion by Heather, second by Rosa. I'm sure everyone's in favor.
See everyone at graduation.
See ya at graduation. Right, for no reason.
Doesn't have to be.
Have a rent there for high school. Any rent there.
Maybe it's
Yes, it's the 11th and the rating.